واحد بكون بستة بيه بيت واحد يا مسؤولين هل الدولة بكون يا بيه هل انت تزعل تقول انت بيه ما عندك سرعة البيه ما تفوقه كأنت زول ما ممكن انت تشوف الشركة ان شاء الله شركة كبريت شركة موية شركة كروبو ساكت شركة مانجا نعناس انت بكون زول لكن بترول في وناس ما وصل يا ناس يا السودان انتم يعملوا فوق ده وين مشاكل شعب بتوع بيصرف القروش انا هذا عندنا بترول سنه كامله 2024 ما في ميه يا ولد تقول انت يوم واحد وزير ولا المسؤول قال الشعب ما يجي بعيد ادوم شهر شهرين ثلاثه بعدين ده مسؤوليه ده غلط كبير جدا انا بتفق معكم انا بقول يا سيد الرئيس ما دام انت يا وزير مسؤول علينا انت مجرمين الفراسه ده اقموا ودي يشيل من قروش عاديه الشعب.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio. Your eyes. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The Undersecretary of Ministry of Petroleum said the government is working closely with the Sudanese authorities to increase oil production at Block 5A oil field in Unity State. The Commissioner of Izo County in Western Equatoria State says more than 50,000 internally displaced people have arrived in the county from neighboring Tombura County since tensions erupted 3 months ago. And the National Police Service spokesperson has assured the public of safe Christmas season, saying security forces will be deployed across the country to protect citizens. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Diko Andrew. Now, the news in details. The Undersecretary of the Ministry of Petroleum says the government is working closely with the Sudanese authorities to increase oil production at the Block 5A oil field in Unity State. Dr. Choldeng made the remark while speaking yesterday in Port Sudan, where he was part of a high-level government delegation led by Presidential Advisor on National Security Affairs, Tutgalwag Manema. The delegation traveled to Port Sudan last week to deliver a message from President Salva Kiir to Sudan head state Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. Speaking on the state-run South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation, Dr. Chol said the two countries are also discussing measures to facilitate the return of oil companies to Hijlich and ensure the smooth operation of oil fields in the area. He added that both governments are committed to working together to guarantee a steady flow of oil to the international market.
Of increasing production in Block 5A in Espok, and we are working jointly right now with the Sudanese to ensure that the technical team from GPOC Espok to be OPCO return to Heglig and operate the oil field smoothly.
Block 5, which include the Tarjath oil wells, is operated by the Sud Petroleum Operating Company, one of the oil-producing customers in the country. The visit by the South Sudan's delegation followed a tribute agreement between the South Sudan and Sudan's warring parties, the Sudan Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces. Under the agreement, the South Sudan was tasked with securing the oil installation in Hijlich, although known as Pantao, after the RSF took control of the area, forcing Sudanese army units to withdraw into South Sudan. The Pantao oil field lies along the border between South Sudan and hosts key processing facilities for South Sudan crude oil, which transported to Port Sudan through the pipeline. Elsewhere, the Commissioner of Izo County in Western Equatoria State says more than 50,000 internally displaced people have arrived in the county by neighboring Tombura County since tension erupted 3 months ago. According to the Commissioner, Abel, Sudan, about 52,000 individuals arrived in Ezo County from the conflict torn by Tombura last month. He said the displaced people have been settled in 4 different camps across the county, due to their overwhelming numbers. Abel spoke to iRadio this morning and he happened to be saying this.
Issue of the IDPs, the original place where they're coming from is Tombora as usual. These IDPs were displaced during the past 3 months conflict in Tombora by giving them all the services that I mentioned. The actual number, because the number is not stable, because they are always up and down, but the correct number that I got from the RRC was 52,000 individuals. They are divided in some Payam and also in Indo Central Payam. We have the IDPs in Indo Central Payam and they are divided into 4 camps.
Commissioner Sudan said only a few of IDPs have received humanitarian assistance, while others are still in their need. He appealed to the humanitarian organizations to provide support, particularly with trauma healing and GBV programs.
Those who have received, their situation has changed. Those who have received the plastic sheets, those who have received the touch, at least their life has been improved. But those who have not received are still in desperate need of intervention. For partners, especially those who are dealing with humanitarian assistance, so I'm appealing to them to see how they can come to ISO and continue from where the others stopped and continue with those who did not receive, and also to encourage them, especially in trauma healing and some other basic GBV awareness.
Tombora County has faced interment violence since 2021, including road ambushes, armed clashes, and other attacks, resulting in the death of over 400 people and the mass displacement of civilians, according to the United Nations. You're still tuning in to iRadio News at 1. The National Police Service's spokesperson has assured the public of a safe Christmas season, saying security forces will be deployed across the country to protect citizens. Major General James Mande Inoka said all security arrangements have been put in place to protect people and enforce law and order during the Christmas and New Year celebration. However, he acknowledged that security organs are facing several challenges that limit their ability to deliver services fully in line with public expectation. Despite these challenges, Major General Inoka is ensuring the safety of people and their property throughout the festive season remain top priority. He made remarks this morning in Juba.
I want to assure the public that the festive season which is coming will be highly protected. We have put in place security coverage for the festive season and New Year. Please don't worry, you'll be protected. Enjoy.
And the Director of Corporate Affairs at the National Communication Authority, Dr. Lamyonja Mathei, said the Cybercrime and Computer Misuse Bill of 2025 will strengthen moderation of South Sudan digital landscape. Addressing a conference on hate speech in Juba this morning, Dr. said the signing into the law of cybercrime and computer misuse bill will enable the NCA intensify efforts in moderating online content, particularly ahead of the upcoming elections. He also warned about the dangers of misinformation spreading through social media. He noted that in homes and communities, people have forgotten the importance of truth.
Honorable Minister, as you know so well, and you were part of the day when the cybercrime and computer misuse bill was passed. We look forward to seeing that bill being enacted or being assented to by the head of state into the law. It will increase the speed of truth. It will guide moderation of content online by the service providers. Away from that, Honorable Minister, that is only one pillar that would allow South Sudanese and globally, and nationally, and even at our village level to consume truth. But there is another one, data protection. The data protection bill is the other pillar which will host the roof of the truth in this country very strongly. Why are we so passionate about data protection? Your individual data need to be protected. We do not want AI to penetrate.
She called on the National Communication Authority to play the central role as the regulator responsible for overseeing mobile network operators and internet service providers. And lastly, the Commissioner of Torrid County in Eastern Equatorial State says security forces will be deployed along highways leading to the county following a series of road ambushes by suspect rebel groups. Commissioner Christopher Andrew Caesar said the security arrangements are meant to safeguard road users after armed groups attacks passengers in recent months. He added that security forces have been deployed across several parts of the county to monitor the movements of the armed groups and prevent any threat to civilians. The commissioner spoke to Ira this morning and happened to be saying this.
Now we deploy all our forces, SSPDF, all the joint forces in all corners of the county, and they are monitoring any movement of strange forces in the county. For Christmas, we're making arrangement for the Christmas. Because it is annual festival, people are now preparing themselves, moving to the markets. Really, there's no any intimidation. Our plan, we have a plan for this Christmas. Our forces will be deployed all the corners of the county also, even in the highways, so our people to have accessibility to the road highway, and will be able to come from the town to the Payam.
With that being, we came to an end with our local news. Up next, the news in the international with my colleague, that is Madrama James.
Armed men have kidnapped at least 13 people from a church in Nigeria's central Kogi state, the second such attack in as many weeks. The attackers stormed into evangelical church, winning all in the mainly rural farming district of Azaz Kiri during Sunday morning service, opening a fire and then abducting some of the congregants. 5 of the gunmen were killed, according to Kogi's State Information Commissioner Kingsley Fahu, but he said others managed to escape despite being wounded. Elsewhere, pop star Lizzo is celebrating a legal victory after a judge dismissed allegation of fat shaming from a 2023 lawsuit filed by 3 of her former dancers. The singer, whose hits include body positive items such as good as hell and Jewish, marked the development with the video statement posted on her Instagram and TikTok feeds. While those specific allegation has been dropped, the case against Lizzo and her production company will continue over claims that the 3 dancers were subject to sexual harassment. And finally, US President Donald Trump has filed a $50 billion lawsuit against the BBC over an edit of his 6th January 2021 speech in a Panorama documentary. Trump accused the broadcaster of defamation and violation of a trade practices law, according to court documents filed in Florida. The BBC apologized to Trump last month but rejected his demand for compensation and disregarded there was any bias of a defamation claim. Trump's legal team accused the BBC of defaming him by intentionally, maliciously, deceptively deteriorating his speech. The BBC has not yet responded to the lawsuit.
Thank you so much, Madrama James. Up next, the news of sport with Darlington Moses.
Thank you so much, Diko Andrew. In the world of sport, we're starting with domestic leagues, where in the South Sudan Premier League, Holy Family secured an important 3-1 victory over at Labara Juba in the Week 13 fixtures. The win lifted Holy Family to 23 points, placing them 4th on the league table, while at Labara remained 6th with 19 points. League actions continues today, with the table leaders Al Merrick looking to strengthen their positions at the top. Al Merrick, who have 31 points, will face Al Ghazala, while currently 7th with 18 points. In the second match of the day, bottom placed Al Hilal will be seeking a much-needed victory against Al Salam, and also Al Salama is aiming to break away from Olympic rank and Bantu City, with all 3 teams tied on 11 points. A win would see Al Salam move up to 14 points. In England, Manchester United and Bournemouth produced a Premier League classic at Old Trafford as both sides lead and had to come from behind before settling for a point from an 8-goal thriller. United's 2-1 halftime lead evaporated within 7 minutes of the restart as Evanilson's and Marcus Travania's struck. While in French, Olympique Marseille secured a valuable 1-0 victory over AC Monaco on Sunday, December 4th, 2025, in a match that brought the two sides together in the closing fixture of round 16 of the French Ligue 1 for the year and season 2025-2026. And finally, Cooper Flag became the youngest player in NBA history to score at least 40 points in a game as the Dallas Mavericks lost 140-133 after overtime to Utah Jazz. The number one pick at this year's draft, the 18-year-old forward finished with 42 points, 7 rebounds and 6 assists at Delta Center in Salt Lake City. Only Cliff Robinson, 45, Gigi Jackson, 44, and LeBron James, 43, have scored more points in a game as a teenager, while Flag equaled Mark Aguirre's record for a Mavericks rookie. Flag, who turns 19 on Sunday, is the third teenager in the league's 79 year history after James and Kevin Durant to claim 40 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists. The Mavericks led 75-71 at halftime, by which time Flag had already scored around 24 points and their team is winning about 124-116 late in the fourth quarter. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Diko Andrew.
Thank you so much, Danington Moses. With that being, we came to an end with our 1 o'clock news, but let's remind ourselves with the headlines. The Undersecretary of the Ministry of Petroleum said the government is working closely with the Sudanese authorities to increase oil production at Block 5A oil field in Unity State. The Commissioner of Isa County in Western Equatoria State says more than 50,000 internally displaced people have arrived in the county from neighboring Tambura County since tensions erupted 3 months ago. And the National Police Service spokesperson has assured the public of a safe Christmas season, saying the security forces will be deployed across the country to protect citizens. That's marked the end of iReady News. If there's any story or an event you'd like iReady to cover or report about, please send us a message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iReady Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news of Arabic at 1:30. I was Diko Andrew. Thank you for listening.